No way. I was muted the whole time? That sucks. I had such a great intro. Oh, that sucks. Anyway, what's up, guys? My intro is muted. That sucks, but how's it going? Anyway, like I was saying, great main event, great card, 6 bets. What's up, everybody in the... Oh, that sucks. We're buying a yacht. I like it. How did I not know I was muted? What's good, Brady? Let's cash some tickets this weekend. I agree. Bunch of muted signs. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, you didn't miss much, but we'll get into it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Anyway, talking about how good the card is, and I have 6 bets, not many straight bets, no parlays, lots of props. So I think it's going to be kind of a violence card. I see a lot of unders. I see a lot of fighters and go to decisions. Did I call you out, PayPal, in my intro? I did not. You guys didn't miss anything. But what's up, guys, in the chat? Legendary muted intro. Yeah, just you could imagine what I was talking about. So, all right. So yeah, I just want to shout out the sponsor real quick, Pub Sports Radio. Go ahead over there to Pub Sports Radio Live. Hit the sub button. I'm doing a Draftkings show over there on Thursdays, bringing a new guest on each and every week on there, and then we go live Saturday for the fights. We talk bets, commentary, and we destroyed the card last Saturday with the live betting, with the straight bets, with the parlays. We killed it last week. So hopefully do that again for this card. It's a big card, UFC 260, the biggest, baddest rematch, and I'm looking forward to it. So with the muted intro out of the way, which sucks, but if you guys can hit the like button, subscribe if you are not subscribed yet. Let's get those likes up. And let's get started on the breakdown here, talking about all my bets and some DraftKings and all that good stuff. So we have, for the first fight of the night, Abu Azaitar versus Marc-Andre Barriault. And I don't know, this is a fight that's tough to call. I don't really understand why this is a fight on UFC 260, kind of a really low-level fight with Barriault losing 3 fights in a row. He got his last win against Oscar Pajota, but it got overturned due to him popping for something. But he looked really good in that Pajota fight. If he comes back in this fight and looks anywhere near like he did in the Pajota fight, I think he has a really good shot to win this against Abu Azaitar, who I'm not all that impressed with. Don't really like the gas tank. Not the most technical striker, but I don't know. I kind of have a weird feeling about this fight, that it might go under, might not go to the distance, just with the way, they were going at each other at the weigh-ins. I feel like it's going to be an exciting fight, and just the styles of both guys. I'm going to pick Barriault. I don't feel confident in it. I'm not going to bet it straight. I'm probably not going to bet the under, but if I was to bet it, it probably would be a look at the under. So the interesting aspect of this is the DraftKings aspect, because this fight's going to go under-owned. Not many people are going to play it, and for that reason, I do have some interest, especially on a 10-fight slate. You guys know me. You guys know that I do like playing that first fight of the night. So I might have some ownership. I'm not going to go crazy on it, but I have a feeling that it could surprise a lot of people, because everybody's expecting this to be somewhat of a low-scoring fight. Probably goes to decision. Barriault's never been knocked out, but I feel like this fight could go under-owned, and for that reason, I'm going to be attacking it a little bit. On a 10-fight slate, you kind of got to. If this was a 14-fight slate, 13-fight slate, I'd probably fade it, but with 10 fights, and especially if it's going to be like nobody's going to own it, I'm going to have some ownership for it. But as far as a betting perspective goes, there's like so many much better spots on the card. So staying away from a betting perspective, the pick's going to be Barriault. I see a lot of people taking the Azaitar side. I don't hate it. I think this is probably a 50-50 fight, but I'm going to lean with Barriault for the volume. A little bit better of cardio and the toughness and durability edge there. So what's up? How you doing? It's going to be an interesting card indeed. What's up, Aiden? How you doing? Yeah, let's get the 150 likes. It's a big card. I think we can get that 150 mark. Will says, I can lip read, and Brady was saying he's picking Woodley. Oh my goodness. No, I think your lip reading is just a little bit off. Azaitar has a 100% takedown rate. He does only have 1 fight in the UFC, though, and I believe he got 1 takedown in that fight. The face-off was interesting with Abu and Barriault. I do agree. Abu by KO could be. Abu by KO. Abu via potatoes could be. It's going to, that's what most likely happens. I just have a feeling that this fight's going to be fun, and this fight could potentially score decent. We lost People's Main Event, Penne versus, I was actually, honestly, I hate to say this, but I did not care that fight was off. I was going Penne, by the way, but I didn't feel good about it. She hadn't won in like, 5 or 6 years? What's up, Lee? How you doing? What's up, Sean? How you doing? But yeah, first fight of the night, I wouldn't go crazy on it from a DraftKings perspective, but I would be at least a little bit overweight to the field. I do have a feeling it could score decent, but wouldn't go crazy. And as far as a betting perspective, you got to be probably wouldn't bet either side here, honestly. Not even looking at any props. If anything, I would look at the fight doesn't go to decision, which is what, plus 135, which is not awful. The under, which is what, plus 160, which is not awful. But again, low-level fight. Don't really want anything to do with it. So we'll get into the next fight here, and this is going to be my first bet of the night. And we have Omar Morales versus Shane Young. And this is a very intriguing fight. And I've been throwing this in the Discord all week. I'm waiting for this prop to come out. They're taking forever, but they finally got it out, and they put Omar Morales by KO on the DraftKings Sportsbook at plus 590 on the opener. And I did hit the opener there plus 550. Plus 550, so I got plus 550. I have half a unit on it, just a small stab there. And interestingly enough, that line has got even better. It's now plus 600 for Omar Morales to win by KO on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I don't know what it is on other books or if they even have it out yet, but I do have that half unit shot, plus 550 for Morales to win by KO, and I'll kind of tell you why. It's really hard. I mean, I think Morales can win a decision, but Shane Young, he's going to be throwing more volume, and we can kind of take a look at the volume stats, as I do think they're pretty important here. So Shane Young lands 6.01 significant strikes per minute. Also, you can see he gets hit a ton, 5.15 absorbed with the 56% striking defense. On the flip side, Omar Morales lands 3.39, so he's very low volume. I do think Morales is the much better fighter in this fight, but one thing I don't like, and this is why I did not bet Morales straight, and especially at the minus 190, minus 200 that he's at, is because I have a fear if he does not get that knockout, he maybe could lose a decision based off of the volume that Shane Young's going to bring. So I think if Morales is going to win, honestly, I kind of feel like it's going to be by knockout. And if you're going to give me plus 550 on the knockout prop, I really got to take that. That's like a 15 to 16% indication that he's going to win by KO. And I think, honestly, that's his most likely. He's probably not going to win by submission. I mean, he could. He's a black belt, but if he didn't submit Giga Chikadze, I don't think he's going to submit Shane Young here. I think the most likely is going to be that knockout. So I do have a half unit shot on that. It's going to be my first bet of the night. But yeah, it's plus 600 now. So do with that as you will. But as far as DraftKings goes, it's interesting because if Omar Morales does not get a first-round knockout, I really am concerned about the ceiling he's going to bring. He's so low volume that if it's not in the first round, he probably doesn't score well. So I'm going to be not too high owned on him. I'll have a little bit just in case he does get that first-round KO. As far as Shane Young goes, if he wins, it's probably going to score decent based off of the volume that he brings. So I'll have some Shane Young. But ultimately, I do really like that knockout prop for Omar Morales at plus 550. I like it a lot better than betting the minus 190, minus 200, wherever he's at for sure. So what do you guys like in this fight? Anybody have a bet on this fight as well? Let's see what we got in here. What's interesting is most people will play Menifield because people feel like he is safer. That seems like a trap. It could. We'll talk about it. Let's see here. Any news from weigh-ins? Nope. As of now, all fights are on. What's up, Shive? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. This Omar fight scares me a tad. It's a little scary because, yeah, if Omar Morales does not get a knockout, could he lose a volume-based decision? I don't know. Not going to lie, I think Omar has the same performance as Giga. He needs to go back up to 155. I hope not. Man, he looked awful in that fight, didn't he? Giga outlanded him 2-1. Giga is someone who's low volume himself, so kind of sketchy. I wouldn't lay the money line. If anything, I would attack that. Maybe a Shane Young decision if you are on the Shane Young side, because Omar Morales is tough. Let's see what Young by decision is, plus 295, or the Morales KO prop. Yeah, where's Sosa? I agree. Morales has not won by KO in the UFC. No, he has not. He has 3 UFC fights, I believe, no KOs. 2 KOs on his record. But do you see how hard the dude cracks? And we just saw Shane Young get knocked out his last fight. And Shane Young is hittable. The dude absorbs punches with his face. So I don't think his chin's awful, but he's there to be hit, and he's going to get hard. Omar has not scored good on DraftKings at 8,700. I agree there. Yep, at weigh-ins, Omar Morales looked very, very small he looked very big compared to Shane. What's up, Andy? How you doing? Hey, man, how are you? Doing pretty good. Good to see your show again. Last event, this clown lost us some cash, huh? Such a disappointment and disrespect to the sport. To be honest, I don't think I want to see Holland fight again. Yeah, I actually bet the Brunson wins in round 4, 5, and then the decision prop. So he actually won me some money, but I could see how a lot of people are frustrated with the Kevin Holland performance. I was frustrated with it, and I had a bet on the other side. So not cool from Holland there, but it is what it is. Omar all day. 500 straight bet on Morales. Good luck to you. Morales hasn't shown power. He hasn't shown a knockout. But he's definitely shown some power for sure. Let's see here. Shave. All right, I got you, Shave. What's up, Boston Nick? How you doing? Just made 2 parlays, 600 plus by KO. Where is that maniac? Morales winning by KO, odds by KKO, TKO is high. Fabio Cherant seemed to have a hard weight cut. Yes, he did. We'll talk about that soon. But we'll get to the next fight here. We have another fight. I have 2 bets on, actually. So we have Mikhail Olezczuk versus Modestas Bukauskas. Going into it, I was like, yes, I'm going to straight bet Olezczuk. I like him a lot here. I want to fade Bukauskas as much as possible. Shout out to Sosa in the chat there. But after getting to the tape, I don't want to straight bet him because he did show some poor gas tank in the OSP fight and some other fights as well. And I feel like if he does not get that early first round knockout, second round knockout, that Bukauskas is very live for a win. And I see that's why the line is about where it opened at -160, currently -155. So I think that the best play in this fight is going to be the under, or the fight doesn't go to decision, because if Olezczuk wins, it's probably in round 1. If Bukauskas wins, it's probably later in the fight. And we've seen plenty of times where Bukauskas gets his butt kicked for, 12, 13 minutes and then gets a late finish. So I think that a Bukauskas third round finish is pretty live there. And I know Uncle Weezy in my Discord, he bet the Bukauskas by third round finish, which that's probably his path to victory. But ultimately, I do like Olezczuk. I like him quite a bit to get that early finish. Bukauskas, very hittable, has that tall man defense. And Olezczuk can definitely crack. So I like Olezczuk. I like Olezczuk to win in round 1. And I do have 2 bets. The first bet is going to be Olezczuk versus Bukauskas. Fight doesn't go to decision. -140 and 1.5 units on that. The line for that is now -170. So some money is coming in on that, as it probably should. I don't know why it was where it was at, and I still don't know why it's only -170. I feel like this fight has a really good chance of finishing. And then I have 0.25 units on Mikhail Olezczuk to win by round 1 KO TKO plus 490. I cannot believe that line, because if he wins, it's probably in the first round. It's probably by knockout. So I took a little stab on that Olezczuk wins by round 1 KO. So 2 bets. Riding on Olezczuk. If Olezczuk wins in round 1, it'll be a very good night. But ultimately, I do think this fight's going to end inside the distance. And this is a fight you're going to want to target pretty heavy on the Draftkings side of things, because same thing. If Olezczuk wins, it's probably early. If Bukauskas wins, it's probably late. It's probably a finish. And at 7,700, I do think he can pay it off as well. I do think as Olezczuk can pay it off as well. So I like the fight from a Draftkings perspective. I like the fight from a betting perspective. And I do think someone gets finished either way, but hopefully Olezczuk does get that first round knockout. So who are you guys liking in this fight? I know some people have a bet on Bukauskas. I know that me and Sosa have a side bet on Bukauskas and Olezczuk as well. Yeah, that's the rumor. The rumor is Bukauskas. I like your profile picture, by the way. But yeah, that's the rumor, that Bukauskas is going to go for takedowns. But the thing is, I don't think I've seen him go for maybe one takedown. And I've watched a ton of the Bukauskas tape. I haven't really seen him go for takedowns. I've seen him get taken down, but I haven't really seen him go for takedowns. So I guess he can try, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Hit the like for Brady the GOAT. Appreciate that, Sean. Always a great Friday night show. I agree. Is the fight tonight? There's always some guys that come in here and ask that. The fight is tomorrow. Let's see here. Tomorrow. Welcome to the Sugar Show. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. What's up, Dom? How you doing? Why does Mikhail always look fat at weigh-ins? He's someone that should be at fighting at a weight class below her. I snagged the under early for this fight, -150. I like it. I like the under quite a bit. The fight is tomorrow on Saturday. I like the round 3 props on this card. Yeah, I don't have any myself. I like a lot of the first round props, honestly. And the Mikhail one is the first one I like. Let's see here. What do you think of Nurmagomedov, Sean O'Malley parlay +110? It's not awful. It's just hard to kind of trust Nurmagomedov after his last performance. Any stack for cash? Not really. I mean, you could stack the main event, but then again, both guys, either one guy is going to have 0 points if Stevie gets knocked out, or Ngannou, if he does not get the knockout, he's going to score very low. Maverick, O'Malley, best parlay pieces. I would not parlay on this card, honestly. The only thing that worries me is Bukauskas' size. He is a big guy. Yes, he is. I'd like to see Mikhail at 185. I would too. I still have Mikhail to get the win. I agree. What's up, Billy? How you doing? Me and Billy did the show on Pub Sports Radio Live last night. Pretty good show there. Maverick losing. Don't bet trendy chalk and Mavericks. Yeah, it seems like a lot of these trendy fighters that everybody likes always lose, especially in 2021. Maverick isn't good. We'll talk about that fight pretty soon here. Can't bet Modestus after seeing the bobblehead KO law. Yeah, he got brutal KO. What's up, Ron? How you doing? I hope so. Hopefully he goes down in the first round. Who won the fight? The fight has not started yet. What's up, Mills? How you doing? Any lock to use in a multi-bet parlay? There's probably no lock on this card, honestly. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's one lock that I'm really confident in. Usually I have one. Let's see here. Robertson, my dog for DK. Not a bad dog play. We'll talk about it. Billy, thanks for last night. It was lit indeed. So we'll get into the next fight. We have 182 in here. Let's get those likes up, guys. It really, really is appreciated as always. And if you guys don't know, most of you guys probably saw the breakdown that dropped on Wednesday, but I'm doing some giveaways. So go ahead over to my prediction video that was dropped on Wednesday. Go comment down your significant strikes. So comment down your DraftKings names, giving out some free money on that video as well. So we'll get into the next fight here. We have Abubakar Nurmagomedov versus Jared Gooden. Yeah, I really want nothing to do with this fight from a betting perspective. I do think Nurmagomedov is going to win a decision based off of getting takedowns, getting control time. I just don't feel great about it. Nurmagomedov probably wins by decision, which is plus 115. I know it was plus 150 earlier in the week. Kind of missed the boat there, but I probably would stay away anyway. I'm going to take Nurmagomedov. Gooden, if he does win, it is probably by finish. So I'm more interested in this fight from a DraftKings perspective. I think Nurmagomedov is going to go a little bit under-owned because you got guys like O'Malley up there, you got Luque up there, you got Maverick up there. So for that reason, especially with the new DraftKings scoring system, I actually don't hate Nurmagomedov at 9,000. If he does win, probably a bunch of takedowns, probably a bunch of control time. So I think he's fine in DraftKings. On the flip side, Jared Gooden, if he does win, it's probably by some type of finish. So I think he's a fine pump play. But from a betting perspective, yeah, I'm going to pass, especially the minus 240 on the Nurmagomedov side. I really want nothing to do with that at all. But I see a lot of guys liking the Nurmagomedov by decision. I don't hate that. But yeah, no play here for me. I'm going to take Nurmagomedov to win. But just really hard to trust the guy. We've seen this guy lose as a big favorite more than once. But I am going to pick him to win here, but don't love it all that much. Let's see here. Jillian can only win by sub. Khabib is back. Is he back? I don't think so. Sounded like Gooden still had weight to cut after the face-offs too. Yes, he did. Yeah, BP is definitely on the Robertson side. Kind of could be like the Lazez fight. Abu by decision plus 155. I don't want to bet that fight, but it could be. He's going to have Khabib in his corner. Yes, he is. Coach Khabib has been on a tear. Yep. Khabib is his coach. Yes, Khabib will be in the corner, which is always a great thing to have Khabib in your corner. So, yeah, I do like him to win, but just not something I'd really put my money on. I think there's better spots on the card. If you want to throw in a parlay, go for it, I guess, but probably playing with fire there. So, we'll get into the next fight here, and I have quite a bit to talk about for this next fight. What's up, Aaron? I see you. And we have Alonzo Menifield versus Fabio Cherant. So when this fight first got announced, I saw a lot of love for the Fabio side. A lot of people picking this guy, and then I got into the tape, and I'm like, "What? Why are people taking this guy? Am I missing something?" I went back and watched some more tape, and I still am confused why people are high on this guy. I think it's kind of because people don't like Menifield. People hate Menifield. A ton of people were picking him against William Knight, and I can understand that. But this is a fight like Menifield should definitely win, especially Cherant coming in on short notice. And just watching the tape on Cherant, he's not great. In his contender series fight against Alexa Kamura, I know that was a couple of years ago, he landed 7 total strikes in about 6 minutes of fight time against Alexa Kamura, and that is just not great. And you can see his other fights where he's going in there, he's throwing no volume, he's backing up against the cage, he's running away all fight, and he's hittable as well. So how does Cherant win this fight? Menifield gasses out, but even then, like, how good is Cherant's gas tank going to be? He looked like he didn't have the best weight cut in the world, and he's someone that, coming in on short notice, how good is his gas tank going to be? So I really like Menifield here. I know people hate Menifield. You can't really trust him. Yes, he's looked like crap. He looked like crap in the Devin Clark fight. He looked like crap, really looked like crap in the OSP fight, but this is a fight that he really should win, or he probably should be cut, man. I mean, this is such a winnable fight. So I think Menifield is going to win this fight. I saw some props that I liked, and I probably will pull the trigger on Menifield. I just don't know how to bet him yet. Menifield by knockout is interesting. Menifield by first round knockout is interesting. Menifield inside the distance, -155 is interesting. I think the under is interesting as well. So I haven't pulled the trigger on a play yet. I'm going to keep my eye out, but I will be probably playing Menifield in some type of way. I just don't know what I'm going to do yet, whether I do want to play him by knockout or inside the distance or take a look at like a round prop. But I do like Menifield. And the big thing here, especially from a DraftKings perspective, is Menifield is 8,100. He's a -300 favorite. So he's going to be the highest owned on the slate. He's going to be 60%, 65% around that area. So you either want to fade him or you want to test your luck fading him, or you want to be pretty high on him. And I'm pretty high on him in the spot. I'm not going to go like 100% own it on it because I could see a scenario where it is low volume. Cherant's doing a lot of running away, not much engaging. It could be low volume. So for that reason, I'm not going to go crazy on Menifield, but I will have like 70%, 75% because you pretty much have to. The guy's a finisher. He has 8 of his 9 wins in the first round, 1 win early in the second round. So it's safe to say if he does win, it's probably going to be a finish. And Cherant, we saw him finish against Alexei Kamur, who I don't think is all that great. And I don't think Cherant's all that great either. So could Cherant win? Maybe. I mean, the other thing is Cherant has 0 knockout wins on his record. 0 knockout wins. All his wins by submission. And, going back and watching the tape, I didn't see him shoot 1 takedown. Maybe 1 takedown, but the guy's not going for takedowns. And even if he can't talk, even if he wanted to, he's not taking down Alonzo Menifield here. I can assure you that. So unless Menifield like really drops the ball and gasses, I think Menifield should roll here. But do you want to parlay Menifield at -300? Maybe. But I'm more so looking at like a prop, like a knockout prop or like a first round knockout prop. And it's going to probably smash it on DraftKings as well. But give me Menifield. And I guess it's my most confident pick on the slate. Yeah, probably my most confident pick on the slate there. Who we got in the chat here? Fabio will get mopped. I agree. Menifield redeems himself. He really should. Cherant looked a pretty decent size. Yes, he did. He's a big dude. Do you think he holds Menifield? No. Menifield's stronger than him. Sosa just got done complaining about Fabio's weight cut, now talking about his size. That's true. Same applies for the Ngannou pick. Put a bear in a cage with a human. I have a butterfly in my stomach when I think about Sugar. Fight ends in KO. I'd say so, but Fabio has 0 knockout wins, which is extremely concerning there. Alonzo will swipe him, I agree. Menifield, yeah, I saw plus 230 for Menifield by round 1 knockout. And I was really close to pulling the trigger on that one. But the only thing I don't like is how Fabio does a lot of running away, a lot of backing into the cage. So I'm kind of worried about maybe Alonzo not engaging and kind of just outpointing him, which would not really be his style, but kind of worried about that. We'll have Alonzo in GPP, not cash. I will personally have him in both. He looked bigger than Lonzo. But yeah, Lonzo's jacked, though. Let's see here. Cherant, significant strikes landed per minute, 1.21 is laughable. Yeah, remember it was only in 1 fight, but yeah, that is really, really concerning. Let's see here. Lonzo's first round takedown defense is very good. He was able to stuff a ton of takedowns from Devin Clark. Fabio has only sub cans. I agree. I have no idea how Fabio wins this fight. Menifield should start this clown. God, you guys not a clown, but he should start him. Yes, sir. He's going to be the highest owned, I think. I think him, Francis, Stipe, all going to be extremely high owned. Sosa put 10 units on Sugar first round KO 2, and he will be ours. I think that's pretty likely there. We'll talk about that. Would you take Stipe by TKO at plus 300? I don't hate it, but I can also see him winning a decision. Why does Almeida look so weird compared to the fight versus Cody? He did look weird. Did you guys see Almeida today? It looked a little weird for sure. It was frightening, honestly. Can't wait for Sean to win. Hey, come on, don't say that. What's up, MMA Genie? Hey, brother Brady. Got you there. What's up? Under 2.5, minus 235. Yeah, so the FanDuel Sportsbook opened up the under 2.5 at minus 182. Didn't hate that. Now that it's at minus 235, I don't hate it, but I think there's probably a different way to attack it, like a Menifield by knockout. Max play inside the distance for a Menifield might be the move, DFS. I wouldn't max it, but I think it might be the move. What's up, Danger? How you doing? You're the man. Let's win some cash. I agree. Should be a good card. Should be a good card. This small cage, Fabio hasn't exactly. I like that small cage. A lot of these guys that like to run around, they don't have that ability to run around as good. I'm fading the main event in DK. Be careful there. I wouldn't do that. Maybe if you're doing like one lineup, you could do it, but I'd be careful there. Menifield can't pass his GED test, but he touches this guy once and it's a blackout. I kind of agree there. Just the face he was making, man. The face. Fabio has a better gas tank than Lonzo. I think on if it wasn't short notice, I'd say yeah. Now that it is on short notice, I'd say maybe, but we'll have to see. I'm going 6 for 6 tomorrow. I like it. What's up, Carla? How you doing? So yeah, I'm going heavy on the Lonzo side in DraftKings, and as far as betting, I'm going to be looking at like a Lonzo prop. And just tune into the betting breakdown video tomorrow, where I'll be giving out my final plays. And you can also follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers, and I'll put my final plays out there as well. But don't be surprised if there's like a Lonzo first round knockout or a Lonzo inside the distance play on there. All right, so we'll get into the main card. We're here already. It's a short card, short and sweet, 10 fights. But we're to the pay-per-view portion of the card, and we're going to open up with a very fun fight. We have Kama Worthy versus Jamie Mullarkey. Worthy opened up -165, currently -120. Mullarkey opened up +135, currently +110. So some money's coming in on the Mullarkey side. I thought going into it at first, I might have a bet on Mullarkey because he has a clear path to victory, and that's getting takedowns. Worthy can be taken down. But for one, Mullarkey did not look so great at the weigh-ins today. And for two, getting into the tape against Riddell, I know it's Brad Riddell and Zion, I just did not like some of the things I've seen. Like, he can get takedowns, but his control is not that great. I saw him get reversed like 2 times by Brad Riddell, the striker. He got reversed 2 times by Zion, the striker. He got taken down by Riddell. He got taken down by Zion. So I really question the strength and physicality of Mullarkey. But I definitely get why some people are on him here, because he does have a path to victory with getting the takedowns on Kama Worthy, who I've seen taken down pretty easily. So taking a look at the significant strikes per minute here, and I know it's only a 2-fight sample for Mullarkey, but both those fights went 15 minutes. So decent sample. And some concerning numbers here is he lands 1.87 significant strikes per minute with a 33% accuracy, which is horrible. And he absorbs 4.60 significant strikes per minute with a 42% striking defense. And that leads me to believe, and you can see in the tape, this dude eats punches with his face. Like, he is completely content with getting hit, and he gets hit a ton. So Worthy, I mean, you probably don't want to get hit clean against a guy like Kama Worthy, who we've seen has some massive power. So I'm actually going with the Worthy side here. I know Mullarkey's a popular underdog. I get it. I get why. This fight probably should be closer to a pick'em. But if you're going to get hit clean by Kama Worthy, I think you will have some problems there. And Mullarkey is probably going to get takedowns, but we've seen Worthy get a nice reversal on Luis Pena. We've seen Worthy threaten with guillotines, throw up submissions, and we also saw Worthy submit Luis Pena, which was really impressive as well. But some things I want to note, and this is why I think this fight's going to be very popular and very, a fight you want to own in DraftKings, is in 23 fights, Kama Worthy's never lost by decision. He's lost 6 times by knockout, which is insane. He's lost once by submission. And in Mullarkey's 4 fights that he lost twice by knockout. He lost twice by decision. So it's safe to say that this fight has a very good chance of ending inside the distance. I know Mullarkey's a tough guy, but you get hit clean and you get hit a lot against Kama Worthy, you're probably not going to last. And we've seen Mullarkey knocked out before. So some props that I've been looking at. So -170, fight doesn't go to decision, is not awful. I don't hate it. But I don't have a play on this fight. I kind of a fight I want to avoid. Like I said, at first I was thinking Mullarkey at plus money could be the play. Maybe it still is. But after seeing the weigh-ins, after getting to the tape, I'm more so on the Worthy side. So on DraftKings, I'm going to have a ton of this fight. I think Mullarkey is going to be a very popular dog, as he should be, because if he does win, it's going to be based off of takedowns, control time. If Kama Worthy wins, I can see him maybe getting a knockout, maybe getting a submission, more likely probably the knockout there. So going to be playing both sides. I think Mullarkey's a good dog. I think Kama Worthy is a good play in tournaments, GPPs. But overall, I'm going to have a ton of this fight because I do see it scoring very well. And I think it's a great way to kick off the main card as well. So give me Worthy as a pick. No bet. If money keeps coming in on the fight goes to decision, I might take a look at the under. I might take a look at the fight doesn't go to decision, because a lot of money's been coming in on that all week. But as for now, I'm gonna pass and sit back and watch it, because it should be probably one of the best fights on the night, honestly. Let's see here. Boston Nick says, hit the like. I agree. Let's get it to 100. I agree once more. Let's see here. Mullarkey looked bad. His coach was trying to help him off the scale. Very true. He did look pretty concerning, honestly. And Worthy did look pretty good there. Mullarkey looked like the bigger dude. He looked a little bit bigger, yeah. PayPal my money. Mark my words. O'Malley will be champ before Islam Makhachev. Hot take. He got robbed versus Zion. I remember, yeah. I picked Zion in that fight. I really thought Mullarkey won, and I went back and watched it. I still thought Mullarkey won, but the reason probably why the judges did not score it for Mullarkey was because Mullarkey didn't throw anything. He didn't throw anything at all. You got to do stuff. We got to do stuff when you're on top, especially nowadays. Judges aren't looking at control time all that much. They're looking at damage. Let's see here. Herbert is on drugs. I don't know. Neither of these guys are impressive at the Yan fight. This fight, I don't think it's going to be on. I think it's going to be a war. Worthy losing for sure. I don't know about that. That weigh-in, it showed everything. I have no doubt that Kama wins this one. Let's see here. Both in GPP, I agree. Both sides there. Mullarkey does have a very tough chin. Hasn't been knocked out yet in the UFC, but has been knocked out prior twice. Worthy and Menifield both get KOs. Kind of agree there. Herbert, how does beating a washed-up Almeida prove anything? Decision worthy for me. Could be. You still probably should be heavy on Mullarkey and Draftkings. I'm going to be heavy on him in Draftkings. I'm going to be heavy on this fight as a whole, especially at the price tag. You got to play some Mullarkey because if he does win, it's going to score well. Tyron Woodley, easy. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I've seen him KO'd. Yeah, Mullarkey has been KO'd. LOL, washed Woodley. We might see the first death in the octagon, honestly. Almeida. I don't know. I think he gets knocked out, but got our first troll in the chat. There we go. All right. Got him. Got him. I think Woodley gets it done by decision too. Woodley throws nothing. Yeah, he throws nothing. Right to bums, Mullarkey and Worthy. Who scores more? I think if they both win, I don't know. Worthy probably scores more unless it's a Omar first-round knockout. Most confident pick is Woodley. What? I hope not. Moroccan spammer. Blocked. Yeah, you gotta block these guys sometimes. Mullarkey might wrestle. Yeah, that's probably what he does do. But I don't know. All right, so anyway, we'll get into the next fight. And we have Miranda Maverick versus Jillian Robertson. And this has been causing a lot of drama in my Discord all week with this fight. Me and PayPal have been going back and forth all week on this fight. And we have a little side bet on it. But as far as this fight, I want nothing to do with it from a betting perspective. I'm a big Miranda Maverick guy. I was all over against Jojua. But in this fight, I do have some concerns. I think it's a very winnable fight for her. But, you know, you go back in the Pearl Gonzalez fight where she was taken down like easily. She was reversed and it's just some red flags and she can be taken down. And there's a narrative that, oh, she's so strong. And she is. But she just got taken down so easily in some of these fights. And if you get taken down by Robertson and Robertson gets on top, you're going to be in some trouble. But I definitely get the look for Maverick. If Maverick does stuff to take down, she's going to have a pretty easy night. But what happens if Robertson does get on top? And I was kind of looking at the fight, doesn't go to decision or the under, but looking into the, a little bit more into the record of Maverick and some of her fights, she has one knockout win, and that was against Jojua in her last fight, which was a cut stoppage. So I don't know. I kind of want to see more knockouts from Maverick before I want to pull the trigger. I don't really see her submitting Robertson. This probably does go to decision, but ultimately I want nothing to do this fight from a betting perspective. If I was to bet, it would probably be on Jillian Robertson, but really I don't want to do that. So I think there's much better spots. Not a fight I'm overly looking forward to, but I will side with Robertson. I do think she gets Maverick down, controls her. We have seen Maverick taken down and controlled, and a lot of people are sleeping on Robertson, I think, in this matchup, but could really go either way. I do think this should be 50-50, and for that reason, I think there's a ton of value on the Robertson 7,400 on DraftKings. Honestly feel like this should be 8,200 Maverick, 8,000 Robertson, because Robertson does have a clear path to victory, and that is getting takedowns, but I think either way, you're probably going to want both sides. It seems like in the Robertson fights on DraftKings, no matter who wins, they score well, whether it's her opponent or whether it's herself. It seems like, whoever wins those fights, they score well. So I'm going to be pretty heavy on it from both sides here. The pick is Robertson. I like Robertson a little bit more on DraftKings because of the, $1,400 savings, which I think is crazy. But ultimately, I'm going to side with Robertson. I'm not going to bet this fight. Something I really don't want to put money on. I think there is better spots on the card. But give me Robertson for the win. I know everybody's on Maverick this week, and I get it. Robertson looked awful in her last fight against Tala Santos. But I'll tell you guys right now, Tala Santos, she's the real deal. She really is the real deal. But give me Robertson for this fight. Brady, you still have that parlay live from last week with Luque? Yes, sir. We'll talk about that pretty soon. Tatu Ivasa did his thing. I'm taking one more shot with Woodley. Good luck to you. Good luck to you, Nick. Can't wait to talk about that fight. Block Sosa for touting Fabio. Hopefully he didn't tout Fabio. Let's see here. Woodley looked small and had a bad cut. He always looks kind of small. I don't think he had a bad cut, though. Let's see here. I've got Miranda Maverick by decision. I can see either fighter winning by decision, but TKO, maybe. Maybe. We've seen Robertson knocked out before, but like I said, Miranda Maverick's only knockout was against Jojua, which she's not great, and it was a TKO cut stoppage. Boston Nick will hedge before the fight. Maybe. That Miranda Maverick, I'm not going to say that. Almost got me. I have being so far pretty not good at getting correctly for most of women's MMA. I did have Nunez by sub line correct. There you go. No Bukauskas. Nope, I'm going the other way with Olezczuk, but I am betting the fight doesn't go to decision. Robertson on DK. Yeah, 7,400 is really hard to ignore there. Robertson by sub in round 1 could be something to look at. Could be. Or by second round, but Brady is right about Miranda. Again, I'll probably get it wrong again. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's a close fight either way. A fun fight to watch. Only I agree. When you hear Brady say goodness, you know something's going down. Probably correct there. On DK, with the new scoring system, you need to target fights that will have takedowns, reversals, and control time. This fight will have all 3 on both sides. I like it. Mara Bueno Silva said Robertson. Yeah, but Bueno Silva's a pretty good fighter. If you're going to bet Robertson, take her inside the distance. She won't outstrike and win a decision, but I do think she could get takedowns and control time, kind of like she did in the Battaglia fight. But the best thing is probably not betting this fight, especially Maverick at chalk. I wouldn't probably do that. 252 in the chat. Hit that like. I feel y'all's concerned, but Maverick got this. I believe she is at least top 5 material. Yeah, I heard someone say earlier that Maverick would beat Shevchenko. Come on. But I think she has a high ceiling. Like, if we're talking ceilings between Robertson and Maverick, Maverick clearly has the higher ceiling, but it was just in 2020 when she was getting taken down by Pearl Gonzalez, controlled. She's going to make improvements, and maybe she has, but we'll see on Saturday for sure. Took Robertson by decision. What fighter has Maverick fought? I don't know. Pearl Gonzalez, Luana Jojua. I don't know. Yes, she did. Yeah, if you guys haven't, go watch that Pearl Gonzalez fight. That's kind of why I went with the Robertson side, but maybe she has, made improvements in the year. And it's very possible. Maverick would get slept in the first round against Shevchenko. I agree. Cherant, I'm going Menifield. Yeah, definitely pass. I mean, there's I know there are fights that I'd probably rather bet on than the Maverick Robertson, honestly. All right, so 261 in here. Let's hit that like button. Let's get it to 100 likes. Would really, really appreciate that. Also, do want to shout out the sponsor again, Pump Sports Radio Live. Go head over there, hit the sub button, go subscribe. Going to be going live tomorrow for the fights. Last week was fantastic. We destroyed the live betting. We destroyed the card as a whole last week. Always a fun time over there. Got great commentary. So going to be over there tomorrow on Saturday. Also did a live stream last night with Billy. And I'm going to be doing bringing on a new guest each and every week on Thursday on Pub Sports Radio Live for that Draftkings show. We also talked a lot of betting as well. James in the chat, late, but I'm here. That's all that matters. All right, so we'll go to the next fight here. We have Sean O'Malley versus Thomas Almeida. Sean O'Malley opened up minus 375, currently 305. Thomas Almeida opened up plus 285, currently plus 275. So I like O'Malley here, but I think there's a better way to attack this fight from a betting perspective. And I do have a bet on this fight. I have Thomas Almeida versus Sean O'Malley. Fight does not go to decision. Minus 185, 2 units on it. Let's see what it is now. Minus 195. That's pretty good still. I mean, this is going to be a war. We've seen O'Malley finished. We've seen Almeida finish. We've seen Almeida dropped 6 times in the UFC, and I do think O'Malley puts him away. I think he does put him away early. Almeida's chin is just really not there, and I do think he's going to be hit. I do think O'Malley puts him out, but of course, if you're going to lay the minus 300 on O'Malley, there are some concerns. I mean, the durability is an obvious one. If Almeida does go to those leg kicks early, and Almeida did land 14 out of 15 leg kicks in his last fight, I could be some problems for O'Malley, but I don't even think it's going to get there. I do think O'Malley puts him away, and I think he does put him away early. If you do have the FanDuel Sportsbook, they have an odds boost. Sean O'Malley by KO is boosted to from plus 130 to plus 230. So got to take advantage of that. I forget who pointed out in the Discord, but that is going to be an odds boost there. And I do like O'Malley to win the fight. I'm just not really in love with laying the minus 305. I think I'd rather just bet the fight does not go to decision because I do think it's going to be a war. And I do see O'Malley winning the fight. And as far as DraftKings goes, O'Malley, I'm going to have him in single. I'm going to have him in cash. I'm going to have him in a lot of lineups. But I think Almeida as a pump play is not the worst option in the world. We've seen O'Malley drop the ball before. So, yeah, I like O'Malley here. I'm sure a lot of people do as well. A lot of people really like this guy. Lots of hype on him still, even after he really dropped the ball in his last fight against Marlon Vera. But ultimately, I do like the fight. Doesn't go to decision. I think it is a ton of violence, and I do think it ends pretty early, to be honest. So, should be fun. Should be fun. Hopefully, O'Malley does get back on track, but ultimately, I do like the fight doesn't go to decision. See, we got here Ngannou round 1 plus 240. I like it. Let's get this money, Brady. I agree. I like the show with Billy. I like it too. It's fun. It's time. The Sugar Show. I like it. I got the under 1.5 plus 110. Not awful. Not awful. I took the safest option and went fight doesn't go to decision. Let's see what we got here. Thomas Almeida is chinny. Yeah, he's very chinny. Almeida doesn't kick legs like Cheetah. No, he does not. O'Malley's so easy. Anyway, you see this turn into a scrap and ends up on the mat. I don't really think so. I mean, Almeida went for a couple takedowns in his last fight. Was not able to get them. I don't really see it happening. Sean can get win by decision. Don't think it's really likely. I think Sugar's probably going to knock him out. Almeida with the sunglasses. Yeah, we've been seeing these guys with the sunglasses losing. So that could be a thing to foreshadow there. Glass chin versus glass ankles. Yeah, someone's getting served. Fight doesn't go to decision is really nice. I do like that a lot. And like I mentioned earlier at the show, I believe I was muted, which sucks. But like I mentioned earlier in the show when I was muted, I think this is a great card for the props. I think a lot of these props stick out, especially the violence props. The fight doesn't go to decisions, the unders. I don't have any straight bets. I don't have any parlays. I think a lot of these fights can go either way, and why not just take the fight doesn't go to decision on some of these, like the Bukauskas fight, like the Sean O'Malley fight. I think these fights are going to finish, especially in the small cage, and we've been seeing a ton of finishes lately. I like that line. O'Malley round 1 KO plus 250. I think on my book it was like plus 230, something like that. So I do like the plus 350 there. I'm going O'Malley round 1. We're not really sure if he carries his power into the later rounds. I'm going O'Malley round 1 too. More of O'Malley. I'm probably going to go more O'Malley on DraftKings there. O'Malley is going to pull a Macy Barber and take back-to-back losses. I don't know. Cody broke Almeida's chin. Yeah, the chin is just not there. The dude's been knocked out officially 6 times, but I counted 7. Sugar in the first 90. I don't know about that. Maybe. Obviously, yeah, I think it's an under type at night. I really do. I think a lot of these fights are going to more than likely finish. Or no distance. I agree. Violence. Yes, sir. Almeida had glasses because he was so sucked out. Yeah, we kind of see these guys when they are sucked out, they do wear those glasses. That's why he looks weird. I always feel like FanDuel boosts all kinds of traps. Do you or anyone ever? I feel like, I don't know what it is with FanDuel Sportsbook. They have a lot of these props that just, really question me. Like last week they had Tai Tuivasa first round knockout plus 170. A couple weeks ago they had the Ryan Spann fight to not start round 2 plus 140. I don't know if it's really traps or if they're just kind of new to the sports betting game. Maybe they're not getting stuff right, but I got to take advantage of it. When you first started betting MMA, what was your bankroll? I did $100 a unit to start out, and I'm still at $100 a unit. Can fighters bet on themselves? They can, yeah, they can. But if they bet against themselves and kind of throw the fight, they can't really do that. O'Malley by murder. Best all-in bet. There's no all-in bet for this week. Usually I'll have one that I'm really confident in, but this week I'm not something I'll say like it's a max bet, all-in bet, nothing up for this week. I was probably going to max bet Volkanovski. I was looking into it, but didn't even get to tape it because it was off the Ortega fight. I think it's going to be violent. I think someone's probably getting finished. I think it can go either way, though. Either Mullarkey is able to work those takedowns or Kama does knock him out at some point. Sugar, round 1 KO. Could be worth a shot. O'Malley by KO plus 200 or more is huge. Mistake on the books, I think, for FanDuel. I agree. William Knight is off. Let's see here. All right, so we'll get into the next fight, and we have the co-main event. Yeah, kind of confused. A lot of money's coming in on the Woodley side, and it's a narrative. The past couple fights, Woodley's gonna come back. He's gonna look like a normal self, and then he goes out there and he looks even worse. And when is Woodley going to finally get it together? I don't know. But the thing is, like, he's not getting better. He's 38 years old. He turns 39 in less than 2 weeks. So the dude's almost 40. Like, is he making improvements? No, he's not. Is he going to, flip the switch and completely change how he's been fighting in this last, couple years? Probably not. And I like Luque in this fight. There are just some things I don't like about Luque in this fight, and that is he's very hittable. And I do want to get into the stats because for this fight, I think they're very important. So we also have a really good sample size as well. So Luque lands 5.72 significant strikes per minute compared to Woodley's little 2.33. Like, that is so low volume. And Luque has a ton of volume here. Luque 53% accuracy, Woodley 48. And as far as strikes absorbed, Woodley is absorbing more than he's giving out at 2.72. And Luque absorbs a massive 5.82 with the 52% striking defense. So that's what I don't like about Luque in this fight, is that he is so hittable. But even then, to hit Luque, you're going to have to throw volume. And is that something Woodley's going to ultimately, completely change what he's been doing in his last couple fights here? And even before, he's losing fights, he's still low volume. So I don't know. I think Luque can out-volume him pretty easily here, but could Woodley catch Luque? Maybe. Luque absorbs punches with his chin, relies a lot on his chin. But the thing with Luque is this guy has not been knocked out in 26, 27 fights. The guy has a chin of steel. But for Woodley to win this fight, I think he will, have to knock out Luque, and I kind of feel like that's a little unlikely. I mean, the shots are going to be there. It's just he's got to throw, or go to a takedown-heavy game plan, and that's something that people have been talking about. That's kind of the narrative. Like, Woodley can go out here and wrestle, but even then, like in his last 11 fights or so, he has 3 total takedowns, and a ton of those fights were 5-round fights. So that's extremely concerning to me. Is the 39-year-old, almost 40-year-old Woodley going to all of a sudden revert to a wrestling-heavy game plan? Probably not. I mean, he probably should, but even then, Luque has a good ground game himself. But ultimately, I do like Luque in this fight quite a bit. I do have him parlayed with Tai Tuivasa. I'll get you guys the numbers on there, but I parlayed it last week. I have Tai Tuivasa parlayed with Vicente Luque, minus 123. Really like that line, 1.5 units. And I actually got Luque at minus 270, and Luque is now minus 230. So a ton of money since I did pull the trigger on that parlay has came in on the Woodley side. I get it. Big step down in competition. I get it. He's a champion. I get it. Luque's hittable, but we just haven't seen Woodley look anywhere near himself in a couple years, honestly. So give me Luque. Another bet I do have, and this is kind of a hedge, but I really feel like Luque can knock out Woodley. I know you guys are going to call me crazy, but Woodley has been finished twice. Officially, I know one of those was a rib injury, but it was knocked out before in 2012 as well. And a lot of people talk about the durability of Woodley, and he did get hurt really bad. Almost finished against Burns. But just taking a look at some of the guys he's fighting, guys like Thompson, and Thompson's not really knocking out people. Guys like Kamaru Usman's not knocking out people. Guys like Gilbert Burns, more of a grappler, not really knocking out people outside of Damian Maia and guys like that. Colby Covington, not really knocking out people. So the guys he's fighting, Darren Till, he's not really killers like Luque. Like Luque, he does not know what a decision is. In all of Luque's UFC fights, he has one decision win, and that was against Mike Perry in a fight that arguably he lost, but he almost finished that fight against Perry. Like, Luque is an absolute killer, so I do think a Luque finish is on the table. And if Woodley wins, I do think he probably finishes Luque by strike. So I really do like the fight doesn't go to decision as kind of a hedge for my Luque parlay, but I also think that Luque is going to put away Woodley here. And, again, like, Luque is going to bring a war. All of Luque's fights are wars, and he's going to not be scared of the power of Woodley like a lot of guys are. He's going to walk forward. Woodley's going to walk backwards against the cage, and Luque is going to unload on, 10, 15, 20 punch combos trying to destroy Woodley. And I'm curious to see how Woodley's going to react to that. Is he going to shell up and quit, or is he going to fire back? And either way, I see this being a war, because when was the last time a Luque fight wasn't a war? I mean, pretty much every single one of his fights are wars. So I'm curious to see what approach Tyron Woodley is going to take. Does he want to engage in this war, or is he going to back up against the cage and quit? And I'm more so leaning towards him backing up the cage and quitting, and Luque get that knockout as well. So give me Luque by KO. But ultimately, I do have him in that parlay, and I do have the fight doesn't go to decision, 1 unit on it at plus 120. And it looks like that is now plus 110, which is still plus money. It's not bad, especially if you're on we have a spammer in the chat. We have a spammer. The trolls are out tonight. And I've been noticing that, like, a lot of these other YouTubers out there, they're getting some trolls. So the trolls are out, all good. So who do you guys have in this fight? I was really surprised, like, all this left for Woodley. I mean, could he turn back the clock? Maybe. We were saying the same thing in the Burns fight. Could he turn back the clock? Yeah, maybe. We're saying the same thing in the Colby fight. Like, if he's going to do it, it's going to be this fight. Can he turn back the clock? Yeah, maybe. But I just really question where Woodley is, especially at 38 years old, about to turn 39. Like, is he making improvements? No, he's not. What's up, Big Zoe? How you doing? So we got in the chat, Luque outclasses this bum. Yeah, I see a lot of Woodley's a bum. I don't think he's a bum per se, but he just hasn't been looking great. But I get that this is a step down in competition. Woodley has been talking nothing about his head game during the interviews. He also sounded kind of broken. Could be. I mean, he hasn't looked good. Which fighter will get their first KO loss? Woodley has been knocked out before, but Vicente Luque has not. Vicente Luque looked fantastic. He looked like the bigger fighter. Woodley looked okay. Woodley, let's go. Woodley relies too much on that overhand right and a takedown. He does not throw combinations anymore. Don't see him KOing Luque. I mean, yeah, to be honest, I think if Luque does lose, it's going to be because he gets knocked out. But I just don't see that happening. Whoa, come on. I'm actually worried that Woodley might be a better rapper than he is a fighter, and that is so scary. Luque will bring a war. I hope Woodley shows us something. Yeah. Luque is going to invite the war to Woodley. Is Woodley going to accept that war, or is he going to not accept it? And I'm leaning towards not accepting it. Woodley can KO him. I kind of agree. I think if Woodley does win, it's going to be by KO. Lost the passion. Yeah, I agree. He was never KO'd in the UFC, dude. No, he was not. He was KO'd prior to the UFC. You are right. And he was, did have a rib injury against Colby Covington. 100% right. Woodley is a change man in the bad way. Yes, sir. Luque, he's a killer. He doesn't want a decision. Like, he won't be happy with a decision. I don't know. I'm more so on Nurmagomedov for DraftKings. But I think they're both decent plays, but probably Nurmagomedov for me. Does Woodley last until round 3? Possibly. Woodley will win. All his last opponents wrestled him. This one is going to be a stand-up war. It will be a stand-up war. Could he win the stand-up war? Maybe, but he's got to throw some punches, man. I'm betting around 3 starts, kind of scary. Could be scary, especially in a Luque fight. Woodley, 7,100. Yeah, I didn't really talk about DraftKings, but yeah, I'm going to play some Luque. And as far as the pump play goes, Woodley's not bad at 7,100. But if he does not get that knockout, he's going to absolutely bust. But he's not an awful pump play. So we got here 300 likes. I don't know about that. I don't think we've ever hit. Maybe we hit 200 once, but we do have 300 people in here, so it's possible. 300 in the chat. Not bad. Not bad. No more. Yeah, we say it. We've said it the past couple fights. Maybe Woodley will come out here, change it up, look good. Maybe we see the vintage Woodley, but kind of sick of saying that. You know what I mean? I hope Woodley wins. I don't want him to go back to rapping. Woodley is value. I guess he could win a decision if he uses his skill set or catches him with a bomb. Luque is very hittable. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I think Wordless last fight and Woodley's last fight, and he might want to leave on a high note. I don't know. I'm kind of with Nick here. I think Luque is going to piece him up as well. He has never been KO'd, dude. I said that 20 times. I know he's never been KO'd in the UFC. It was KO'd prior to the UFC. Prior means before. Regardless, he's been knocked out before. Woodley lost to monsters. Luque lost to guys Woodley beat. That is true. Woodley's going to freestyle. He hasn't freestyled on anybody in a while. Watch episode 5 of Embedded. Gilbert Burns imitating Woodley for Luque, and all he did was throw overhand rights and back up against. Yeah, that's probably what he's going to do. Luque VA decision could be. Yeah, Woodley has been knocked out 6 times. You're reading my messages late, fool. All right, there you go. No happy endings in MMA. All right. So with that said, let's get into the main event breakdown here. So we have Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou, the biggest, baddest rematch. And all week I have chills thinking about this fight. I am very nervous about this fight. And the funny thing is, I don't have any money on this fight because I don't know. I feel like Miocic is the more well-rounded fighter. I feel like he's the better fighter, but does that really matter when Francis Ngannou has that one X factor that he can knock anybody out with one punch? And in that first fight, and I know you can't really look into the first fight all that much. It was 3 years ago, but you kind of can. And Ngannou did hit Stipe clean a couple times in that first fight in the first round. He even hurt Stipe really bad in that third round, but Stipe, the veteran he was, did shoot a takedown right away. It only takes one, and I get arguments for both sides. There's really tough fight to call. I do think this should be lined to pick him, or at least maybe Stipe the favorite. But to see Ngannou as a favorite is kind of weird to me because after what we saw in the first fight, and Ngannou is probably first round knockout or bust here. But that first round knockout is kind of likely, I'd say. If anything, I'm going to look at the props here. I've not bet anything on it yet. I'm going to look at Francis Ngannou by round 1 KO. I'm going to look at Francis Ngannou by round 2 KO if it's a decent price. As far as Stipe goes, I think any plus money on Stipe is probably some value. It's just I have a bad feeling about this fight. I think that either guy, in hindsight, is going to look minus 500 here, minus 600 here. It's either Ngannou does get that first round knockout, maybe early second round knockout, or Stipe is able to survive that early first round, the early storm from Ngannou, take over and kind of implement the same game plan he did in that first fight. But it's going to be sketchy. If you're on the over, you're going to be sweating. You're going to have heart attacks up until that over hits, if it does. If you're on Stipe, you're going to be sweating. You're going to have heart attacks up until probably the 1.5 minute mark, or the 2.5 minute mark of the second round, maybe the third round, but you're going to be sweating either way. I don't know. I don't think it's I know people like betting on the main event, but I'm probably going to leave my money off of this main event unless I look at like an Ngannou round 1 KO prop. That's kind of what I'm looking at, if anything. I did see it at plus 240. It was plus 275. Would have liked to get that early in the week, but I might take a shot on Ngannou round 1 KO. As far as Stipe goes, I'd look at the decision prop, which last week the decision prop was like plus 575. Now it's plus 425. Even then, probably some value on that. Ngannou, very, very durable. Maybe Stipe in rounds 4 or rounds 5 could be playable as well. So I might put something on this fight. Just maybe look at a prop. As far as betting it straight, it's a tough fight to call because it really can go either way. And I know people don't like hearing that, but it's true. This fight can really go either way. So I'm gonna pick Stipe to win the fight, to kind of implement the same game plan as the first fight. I don't think he does get takedowns in the first round. Ngannou's takedown defense especially early, is very good. But I do think he can kind of hold him against the cage in that first round, kind of avoid those shots and get out of that first round and slowly take over. But would I be shocked if Ngannou knocked him out in the first round? Not at all. And that's what makes this fight so exciting. But gonna take Miocic, but just not gonna bet it as of now. If anything, I'd probably I think Ngannou by round 1 KO is probably some value there at plus 240, whatever it's at. I think that's good as well. So, yep. What do you guys got in the chat? It's should be a very fun fight. This is a very good fight to watch here. Francis looked massive at face-offs. Yes, he did. Got Stipe plus 125, but hedging with Francis first round plus 240, not a bad idea there. Stipe knows something. He probably does know something. He probably knows that he needs to get this fight down to the mat. I can see the twinkle in his eye. Franny couldn't maintain eye contact during the stare down. Very hard fight to call. The smaller apex cage favors Francis. Nowhere to run for Stipe. Yeah, I could see it both ways. I could see it favoring Francis because you're right. Stipe won't be able to move his around as well. Or you can see it as Stipe can close distance, maybe get a takedown or easier. Kind of answered it there. I kind of see it both ways. Ngannou round 1 KO is paying. I think that's pretty likely there. Fight to start round 2 is minus 185. Bet that. It probably hits, but you're gonna be sweating. How about over 1.5 rounds, minus 150? Again, it probably hits, but it only takes one for Ngannou to put him out. Going to go like just how the last fight went. It could. Risky. Can Stipe have a perfect performance twice? I'm betting not. And yeah, again, like Ngannou did hit Stipe clean a couple times. Can he take those same shots? I don't know. Fight to start round 3 is plus odds. Don't love it myself, but maybe it hits. If Francis does that Rosenstruck blitz, it could be lights out Stipe. I'm curious to see. Another thing is I'm curious to see how Ngannou is going to approach this fight. Is he going to come in here and attempt to destroy Stipe, kind of like he did in the Rosenstruck fight, or is he going to kind of stay back and be more conservative? Conserve his gas tank a little bit. I don't know. Coming in 30 pounds less, that takedown isn't part of the game plan this time. Maybe not early, but maybe he can implement those later in the fight. I kind of get what you're saying there. 5K on Stipe Miocic. I wouldn't do that personally. Leg kicks will play a massive part in this fight, unpopular opinion. Leg kicks from Stipe or leg kicks from Ngannou? What do you think? Stipe needs a perfect fight. Ngannou needs one punch. Decent way to put it there. Stipe is always underlooked. I agree. Francis mentally can't handle it. No. Excited for this one. Yeah, I'm excited for this one too. This fight is I can't wait for this fight. I have no problem laying down the $70 for this fight. I truly believe Ngannou overlooked Stipe in the first fight and will be better here. Yeah, I mean, the big narrative going around this week is Ngannou's made improvements, and I can see it both ways. Maybe he has, but we just haven't seen it yet because he's been knocking guys out early, but it's not his fault. He's knocking guys out early. What is that guy talking about? Francis couldn't maintain eye contact. He never looked anywhere else. I don't know. Peace, that like button up. I agree. The moment is too big for Francis. I don't know, dude. It's crazy. It's a crazy fight. Let's see here. This fight can go any way, so I'm saying Francis, so we have to pay to see one more rematch. Yep. Francis will have looked at tape and probably won't head hunt as much. I don't know. I think for him to win, he probably has to head hunt, I mean, he's not going to win a volume-based decision. Got $595 on Francis by KO TKO at minus 106. Stipe is heavyweight GOAT, but Francis has a home camp now. New era begins. It could. Appreciate that, Spencer. Great show as always. Stipe Ngannou approves. I like it. If Stipe wins, it's not before. I agree. I think if Stipe wins, it's going to be in rounds 4 or 5 or a decision. Francis is. I don't think he's scared, dude. I don't know. I'm not Francis, but I don't think he's scared. Maybe he is, but probably not. Bro, these 30 pounds are not going to stop him from getting a takedown. Yeah, he's probably going to still get takedowns. Stipe probably plus odds if he loses the first round anyways, right? Yeah, I think it's a decent live betting situation, I guess. If Stipe does survive that first round, I'd probably play the Stipe side. Subsabrade, what's up with you? Hard to have a big gas tank carrying all that muscle. That is true. I hope not. I hope not. We've seen a lot of them lately. Appreciate that, the game and Wolf. Could Francis beat Cormier? I think Cormier would beat Francis in Cormier's prime. Maybe right now Francis probably wins. What is DC, like 42? But in DC's prime, I think he'd beat Francis. Maybe nervous. I mean, it's hard to not. This is a big spot for him. Exactly. Somebody that big can't be scared. Come on. It's Francis needs to stay back and not blitz and gas out, pick his spots. Then he'll have a chance. How do you think the small cage affects this fight? Stipe will be more in danger at all time. True. But that also makes takedowns easier. What do you think? I'm kind of on both sides. I think that Ngannou will have more chances to hit Stipe, but like you said, Stipe will have chances to make it easier on closing the distance. These dudes are delusional. Francis probably isn't even scared of God. It's hard to imagine somebody that big being scared. Askren or Jake Paul, I don't know. I'm not going to bet it. Not going to probably watch it, honestly. Maybe I'll tune in, but not something I'm overly worried about as of now. First round knockout for Stipe. I don't know. All right, so I don't think it'll hurt. Jake Paul all day, easy money. I don't know. It's hard to bet a YouTuber, but so we'll talk about my final bets for the card, and then of course check out the betting breakdown video that'll be posted tomorrow morning. I'm getting out there extra early since it is a decent card here. As you guys know, Tai Tuivasa parlayed with Vicente Luque minus 123, 1.5 units on it. Tai Tuivasa did his job. It's all up to Luque to do his job now. And I also have in that fight, Tyron Woodley versus Vicente Luque fight doesn't go to decision, plus 120, 1 unit on it. I think it's going to be a war. Whether Woodley invites or accepts that war is going to be up to him. Mikhail Olezczuk versus Modestas Bukauskas fight doesn't go to decision, minus 140, 1.5 units on it. And I also have Mikhail Olezczuk wins by first round TKO, plus 490, 0.25 units on it. And then I have Thomas Almeida versus Sean O'Malley fight doesn't go to decision, minus 185, 2 units on it. And then I also have Omar Morales wins by TKO KO, plus 550, half a unit on it. So lots of violence going on this week. And like I said earlier, I think it's a card where maybe not the best card to do some straight betting. I think a lot of these fights can go either way. Maybe not the best card to do parlays, especially parlays, because again, either fight can go either way. I think it's a decent spot to really pick your spots on the props. Lots of these violence bets, I do think they'll hit, and should be a fun card overall. As far as DraftKings goes, gonna have a ton of the main event. I think there's 4 fights that you can really say that have a really good chance of ending up on the optimal lineup. That's going to be the main event. That's going to be Worthy Mullarkey. I think the winner probably is optimal. I think that Olezczuk Bukauskas is probably optimal as well, the winner of that. So DraftKings should be fun. I know it's a 10-fight slate, but still should be fun overall. So I'll answer any final questions, then head out of here. About to finish up some articles and all of that good stuff. But yeah, as far as the bets go, those are probably my final bets. Maybe I'll take a look at Ngannou by round 1 KO, and maybe take a look at the Menifield KO prop as well. Oh, so hard to be confident in a fight like that. If you watch that crap, you're a casual. Agreed, PayPal. What's up, Leaf? Good stuff, Brady. Good luck with the bets and the DraftKings. Let's go. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys can hit the like button, we had a 300 in here. Pretty decent card. I know a lot of people are hating on the card. I think the card's decent. I'll be paying for it. There was a card a couple months ago, where I was not paying for the pay-per-view. But this one, I have no problem laying down the 70 for some Stipe and Ngannou. Brady versus Jake Paul. That would be fun. I got O'Malley and Bukauskas fight doesn't go to decision at plus 120. Decent parlay there. If you're into parlay and the props, decent parlay there. Parlay all the unders, maybe not all of them, but I think, especially with a small cage, we've been seeing it week after week. A lot of these fights are finishing. So I think it's a violence bet type of night. I got a parlay of Omar Morales, Abubakar, O'Malley, Luque, and over 1.5 in the main event. I say it hits. Texas Roadhouse, maybe some Roadhouse tonight. Appreciate that, Chris. What's your DK lock? I think the most I'm going to have on a fighter is going to be Menifield, because you kind of got to. He's 8,100. He's minus 300. So I'm going to have Menifield as a decent amount there. Brady, thoughts on that O'Malley Francis first round KO parlay? I was actually kind of looking into like a first round KO parlay, like Francis and Ngannou round 1 KO, Menifield round 1 KO, Olezczuk round 1 KO, O'Malley round 1 KO. Those 4 I think all have potential to end in the first round by KO. What's up, Shoeproof? DFS equals don't freaking sleep. Thanks for the help, Brady. Yeah, I don't. I really don't sleep. So Probably should, but you can't sleep, especially with a fight tomorrow. Like, how are we going to sleep with thinking about Francis Ngannou, Stipe all night? I'm not much of a live better, but if I do see an opportunity, I will take that opportunity. I think that if Olezczuk makes it out of the first round and he does not finish Bukauskas, I think Bukauskas could be a decent live bet. Other than that, the main event, I guess if you want to think of it this way, if Miocic survives that first round, I'd probably take a shot on Miocic. Other than that, maybe not looking at much live betting unless something really sticks out. I hope so. Let's see here. DK lock. If there's no lock, but I'm gonna have majority of my lineups with Menifield on him. Bukauskas under 1.5 plus 240. Not bad. Not bad. Not awful. What's up, RTT and Randy? How you doing? If it hits, I'm gonna PayPal you, Brady. Okay, I got you. No problem, Frank. Thanks for hanging out. Put $500 or $500,000. Goodness, on Miocic. It's a lock. Nothing's a lock in MMA. Rodolfo Vieira got submitted by Fluffy Hernandez. What were your thoughts on both Bays losing last week? I thought it would be a very awkward night in the Bays household, but them losing did benefit me quite a bit. Made some money there. Maybe. All depends on the line you're getting. I've only seen them on like 3 or 4 different books. Some of the books I use don't have them yet, but FanDuel Sportsbook has them. I think I saw 5 Dimes that had it, and something else had it as well. Nope. 10 more likes for 150. Yeah, before we get out here, let's get 150 there. 10 more likes. Let's get it, guys. Great show, Brady. Good luck for tomorrow. Good luck to you as well. They took Koska out of the UFC fan rankings website. Maybe they should after that last performance. All right, so I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you guys can hit the like button one more time, I do want to shout out the sponsor, Pub Sports Radio Live. Go head over there and subscribe. Betting breakdown out tomorrow. Probably those 6 bets, but might add one more. I know something maybe always comes up last minute, like last week. And I'm going to be going maybe live on Pub Sports Radio Live tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to yet, but something to look for there. But yeah, should be a fun fight. If you guys want to talk some fights, you can hit me up on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. My DMs are always open. Of course, you can join the Discord as well at the link below. Discord's been hot this week. It's a big card. Really looking forward to it. Hopefully making some money. Keeping the momentum rolling after the best week of the year for me last week. So got to 150. Appreciate that, guys. So I'm going to head out of here. Thank you all for hanging out and see you guys soon.